I was in like a children's choir, but I was also singing in like a children's choir in like church. And then when I got into like 5th grade, I tried out for like Pennsylvania's children's choir. I wanted to be a psych nurse. So, yeah, like, or a forensic nurse, something like that. Because I'm very into crime. I'm also very into the brain. I'm cry. I met with so many labels. And I just didn't know why it wasn't sticking or what wasn't clicking or why it didn't feel right, you know, these kind of things. And I would cry in my bathroom and my boyfriend would be like, it's gonna happen. I was bullied in school, so that caused depression and anxiety. I didn't want to go to school. I was paranoid people were gonna hate me, things like that. And then it kind of just carried over into my life where it's like growing up now as an adult, I'm still trying to prove myself to the world and people like me, and especially in a rigorous industry where it's like, are people your friends? Are they not your friends? What do they want from you?
Hi, today I'm here with Roses.
Hi.
So you were born in Philly, right?
Philly. Yeah.
Were your parents
country?
Were your parents born there as well?
No, they were born in Connecticut, so still the East Coast.
Yeah. What made them move out there to Philly?
I think it was my dad's job. He got a job there when he was young, and my mom, you know, was like, well, let's do it. It's your dream. So
yeah. Wait, doing music?
No,
or?
he's a chemist, but
that's
his
crazy.
like passion. So yeah.
And what does your mom do?
She's a nurse. So they're both in the medical chemical fields.
And so from a young age, your whole family was kind of like super into music, and you got into it as well. Yeah.
My dad is a guitar player and a piano player. Everyone in my family plays like about 2 instruments at least.
Yeah.
So like my mom plays guitar and flute and piano. My dad plays guitar, flute, guitar, violin. Like he can play piano, everything basically. Yeah. And then it just kind of got passed down. My brothers play instruments. I play instruments.
Yeah. And you started when you were like 4, right?
This is the cutest. I started, my parents put me in piano lessons when I was 6. So I was just a young lad.
Yeah.
But, and then I started playing violin, which led to like saxophone and guitar and clarinet and all these other instruments. And then I started writing on guitar when I was in high school.
Yeah. Damn. So what kind of music were your parents listening to?
They were big James Taylor fan. Well, my dad's a big James Taylor fan. He was actually my first concert I ever went to.
Oh.
And my mom was big, like with Michael Jackson, Madonna, Kathy Dennis, like all those kind of, like groovy musics.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a big mix. My dad was they were also into like, what else? Like Fleetwood Mac, things like that. Jazz. We were like big jazz family too.
Yeah. Are they singers as well?
Yeah.
All of them?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, definitely. I think they actually met each other in their like church's choir.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
And you also joined choir like pretty early on, right?
Yeah. I was in like a children's choir, but I was also singing in like a children's choir in like church. And then when I got into like 5th grade, I tried out for like Pennsylvania's children's choir and traveled with them. So
yeah, what was it actually like traveling with a whole like children's choir?
Oh my God, honestly, I can't imagine what it was like for the adults. But for me, it was a blast. I mean, I had the most fun ever. One of my best friends who was in the children's choir with me, like we weren't best friends at the time, but like later on we realized we were in the children's choir together and like rode the like in a gondola together.
Oh, that's so cute.
So we were like, it was fate back then.
How do you describe your personality back then growing up?
My personality? I don't know. I was very spunky and bossy, and I center of attention always. Like I needed people to be watching me. Although, if you were to ask me back then, I'd be like, I'm shy. But yeah, I don't know. I had to find my place in music, because school wasn't the friendliest to to me as far as like people go and things like that. So I kind of made my own in the music world.
And then you started to do some like open mic stuff, right?
Yeah, so I started doing open mic when I was like 15, 16. I was going down. I grew up outside of the city, and my parents would take me to the city to, do the open mics and things like that.
Damn, that's so supportive.
Yeah, they would. Well, the thing is, I had older brothers doing this same thing at that time, and I was like, I want to do that. Like, I'm going to go when they go.
Yeah.
So, like, there were times when my brothers were in college, and my mom was still driving me up to the city when I was like 14, 15. And yeah, I don't know. I was lucky to have their support.
Yeah.
But, I couldn't get into some clubs where there was like in New York, I would go to New York and couldn't get into some clubs, so I bought myself a fake ID.
Oh my god.
And I got in.
I love that.
Yeah. And my parents were like, we want no part of this. We will take you there, but we will not get you in. So, and my dad was like, you're getting yourself out of jail if something happens.
Yeah.
But it worked out. I mean, look at me, I survived.
Oh.
When I turned 21, my mom was like, we did it.
What was the environment like with like all your brothers being musicians? Was it ever like competitive, or were you like, was it like super fostering?
It's always been fostering, but at the same time, I would of course be jealous of their progress because of their years ahead of me.
Yeah.
So they're in a band, they got signed before I did, so all of that kind of stuff was like, I want to be where they are, but we each have our own path, and I'm glad that it worked out the way it did, because it kind of taught me not to compare myself to other musicians.
Yeah, actually that's came up in your previous interviews, like comparing yourself.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing in this industry, I think.
How do you like get over that obstacle?
I kind of have rules for myself. Like, I don't watch people's Instagram snap stories, because you're seeing the best, 10 seconds of someone's life. And it's kind of like there's certain people that I will mute maybe on Twitter or something like that, So it's just really to protect myself. It's nothing like against them or anything. It's just like my personal mental health needs that kind of attention.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's kind of what I've done, but I just have to remember that each path is different. We're each going to get there differently, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't compare myself to Ariana Grande,
yeah,
who's the same age as me.
That would be stressful.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just not, it's two different worlds.
At what age did you start, like, putting your own, like, original stuff out there?
I think I wrote my first song in 8th grade, and I played it in a talent show, and then I started recording an EP, my first EP in high school.
That's crazy.
And I released it in 10th grade. Yeah, and it was called Gone.
Was that under your own name, or was that was like before you had a moniker, right?
Yeah, so it was under my own name. So it's, I don't even know where it is now. I probably have like some hard copy somewhere.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I mean, I was lucky because my brother helped me. Both of them helped me like record and put it out and get it on iTunes and register for music licensing.
Yeah,
BMI.
and they kind of manage you, right?
Yeah, my brother manages me, and then my other brother's my producer, so kind of just stayed that way.
Is it ever difficult having your brother as your manager, like, because he's your family, or
sometimes it does get difficult. Sometimes it gets difficult because he'll give me the tough love where it's like, you need to do this, and there's times when I'm like, are you saying that as my brother, or are you saying that as my manager?
Yeah.
But like, he's also very understanding, so I do take his opinions very heavily because I know that he's usually right.
Yeah.
But, that's really the only issue we have. It's just the brother-sister arguments.
And when you were in high school, people were telling you to like get a plan B that you couldn't like actually do like singing full time.
Yeah.
And then you actually did it. You actually studied nursing, so you took their advice.
Yeah, I did.
But was nursing?
The thing was that I wouldn't. I don't know. Everybody always said like you have to have a backup plan, and then all of my friends were going to college, so I was like, well, I guess that's what I got to do. So I went to community college, started with pre-nursing, and did 2 years of that, and then I was like, I don't want to do this. Told my parents, I was like, this is not for
Yeah.
me. I feel like nursing is a very rigorous career, and if you're not 100%
True, yeah.
committed, then
Yeah.
it's not for you. And that should
Yeah.
be for anything, you know? I think that everybody should be 100% committed to their
Yeah.
jobs.
Were you
But-
actually like really interested in science? Like,
I was, yeah.
You did well in it?
I wanted to be a psych nurse.
oh.
So, yeah, like, or a forensic nurse, something like that. Because I'm very into crime. I'm also very into
Oh, that's
the
cool.
brain. So
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I started with nursing, and then I stopped. Graduated with an associate's degree.
Like journalism, right?
Liberal arts first,
Yeah.
and then I transferred to a university in Philadelphia called Temple.
Yeah.
And I was there for a year doing journalism and communications. And because I was like, if I'm going to be a writer and it's not going to work out if I'm a music writer, well, I'll be a journalist. And then I met the Chainsmokers, and it just changed.
Did it actually help you with your songwriting, studying journalism?
I don't know, actually. I don't know. I didn't really ever apply anything like that to my songs, but I think it's helped me with talking to people,
Yeah.
you know, and having to know, like, what to say, what to ask, how to answer things, how to listen, things like that.
Was the degree something that, do you think you wouldn't have gotten if it wasn't for your friends and for your parents? Like, would you have just gone straight into music?
I don't know. I think now, looking back in hindsight, I'm glad I did it the way I did it, because I believe firmly that things happen for a reason. And I don't think my path would have ended up like this had I not done that. But at the same time, it's like, I wonder what would have happened if I was like, I'm moving to LA right after graduation, you know, something like that. Because that had always been, I was always going to be the girl that moved to LA after graduation. And then I didn't. So, and I still haven't.
How old were you when you first got signed?
I got signed this year, so
Oh, wow.
24.
Damn.
Yeah, it took a while, but it's kind of like dating, where you're dating other people, and then you kind of like come across somebody where you're like, you know, this just feels different than everybody else.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it was like for
Yeah.
me.
Would you say you were like a patient person to wait it all out?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I would cry and cry and cry. I met with so many labels,
Damn.
and I just didn't know why it wasn't sticking, or what wasn't clicking, or why it didn't feel right, you know, these kind of things. And I would cry in my bathroom, and my boyfriend would be like, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. And so no, I wasn't good at waiting. But every time I got, like, every time it just didn't work, I look back now and I think, thank God it didn't.
Yeah.
You know? Because it's like, I just wasn't ready, or they weren't for me. The pathway was different. What they saw for me to do was not what I wanted to do. So in a way, I'm just glad I knew who I was when I was searching. So
What specific characteristics were you looking for?
I guess I wanted someone who was optimistic, and someone who can understand a project that's not fully done yet.
Yeah.
So, like, I need people that have the creative mind to understand what type of things I want to represent, such as mental health, women's empowerment, like things like that.
Yeah.
And I really liked that the place I was working for, I'd be working with a girl, you know, or the label that I'm working with now. My A&R is a girl, and it's my favorite thing ever. I love it.
Are you ever afraid that you're gonna get stuck in like the EDM girl as like the EDM singer?
Maybe, yeah. I used to have the fear that I was just always going to be the girl who sang the Chainsmokers song. But now I'm the girl who sang the Galantis song. I'm the girl who sang the Cash Cash song. You know, and it's not even like I just sang them. I wrote them. So it's like, I don't really care at this point what people are going to think, because if they truly do love my music, they're going to know all of these facts and things.
Yeah.
But it was a fear of mine, because, you know, I'm stubborn and I need people to know who I am. And like I said, I still want to be the center of attention. Like, I'm still the same girl I was when I was little.
Yeah.
I'm bossy. So I'm kind of demanding that limelight now, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I hope, I mean, I can't regret anything about the dance music community because it's made the world for me. And
Yeah.
I love it.
And what age would you say you started like getting depression or like anxiety?
I think I've had it forever, to be honest. I was bullied in school, so that caused depression and anxiety. I didn't want to go to school. I was paranoid people were going to hate me, things like that. And then it kind of just carried over into my life where it's like growing up now as an adult, I'm still trying to prove myself to the world and people like me. And especially in a rigorous industry where it's like, are people your friends? Are they not your friends? What do they want from you?
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the biggest reasons I can't move away from home is because I have my friends and I'm afraid that if I move away, I won't have that, you know?
Yeah.
I won't have that like random Wednesday where my friends are like, what are you doing?
And how do you deal with it?
How I deal with it? So I see a therapist regularly, which is something I promote. And, you know, I saw something someone said where it was like, girls should be allowed to fall apart, trying to promote therapy that way, but that's kind of the complete opposite of what it all is. It's about rebuilding yourself and how you should be allowed, hi little doggy, how you should be allowed to fall apart, not only in the confines of a room with a therapist, you know, so.
Yeah.
For me, I promote like therapy or talking to friends or, you know, blogging, journaling. I used to have like an anonymous blog where I would talk about my anxiety and I'd have people submit like on Sundays what they were going through, things like that. So, I don't know. Yeah, I guess my biggest advice is talking about it. Because once you start talking about it, you know how to fix it yourself and it becomes a real thing and you're admitting it. It's all about like, you know, it's like stages of grief.
Yeah.
Denial, you know, all these things. But yeah. I mean, and also if you see your friend acting differently, like don't be afraid to be like, hey, what's up? You okay? Because they might need that.
You said in previous interviews that you're more like shy and introverted.
Yeah.
How do you think that has affected the music you make?
I guess I prefer to write alone. So everything I make is not, it's kind of in my own little box. So I don't know if it helps or hurts me.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, but I have my comfort zones. And I'm like an introvert extrovert. Like with the people I know, I'm like a fireball. And then the people I don't know, it's like, do I say hi? Like, you know, and even if it's like an acquaintance, like if I were to see you out at the market and I was afraid you wouldn't recognize me because I'm a paranoid person, I'd be like, just like walk by.
I'm the same.
And yeah, so I think that does affect like the way I write music because I stick with the things that I know and the people I know. But I've been branching out more and coming to LA more and working with people that my publishing company set me up with. So I'm learning. Exposure therapy, I guess.
What is it like being in a long-term relationship, like through your music career?
It's got its ups and downs, I gotta be honest, but it's mostly ups. We just bought a house. And
wow, congrats!
Oh, thanks. He's a creative guy, so he kind of understands the whole, I'm gonna work now at 1 a.m., you know? And, but also understands that I'm gonna go to bed at 8 p.m. So, it's great. It's hard, like, you know, when I'm touring, it's, especially now when we're moving, he's packing up everything, and I'm here, and I'm like, don't pack this way, and don't pack it that way, because I'm a control freak. And it's hard for him, I'm sure, to see, you know, there's this side of life that he just doesn't do with me.
Yeah.
You know? And there's people, it's a whole different world almost that he isn't there for, I guess.
How do you think you've grown as a person since when you were younger?
Oh gosh, I don't even know that I did. I'm still the same height. No, I think I've grown in confidence and independence. I've always been the kind of person that's like, do you like that? Like I need people's approval a lot. And I've turned into a person that doesn't. I'm very, very on my own.
Yeah.
What else? I guess I'm more, I don't know, I'm more humble maybe. I know how to apologize when I need to, but stand up for myself when I don't.
Last question. What do you want to be remembered for?
Oh gosh, that's a tough one. What do I want to be remembered for? I guess what I want to be remembered for is when I was writing, or when I was going through a really bad heartbreak, I remember as Adele as like my hero and like my healer and kind of like my zen, and like she knew how to guide me through it. And so I guess I just want people to remember me as a time in their life where they really, really needed me.
Wow, I love that so much. Yeah.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I mean, I just really I want to feel like I was there through the journey that they needed me at.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.